Um, so nostalgia can't be beaten. So I played Sonic Frontiers. Now Sonic is one of those things that there are multiple eras of Sonic, right? You have your original 2D Genesis Sonic.
Can I
Uh,
just
after,
say
after-
I
yeah,
was I was I was scheduled to play Sonic Frontiers
you were, yeah.
because I thought I had 20 minutes left in Signalis.
Okay, yeah. So that let's fuck it. Let's go back to that. So I was streaming that day, and I was like, "Oh, how much did Wooly like Signalis?" And the response came back, "He's still playing that." And I went, "How the fuck is he still playing that?" I watched like the last 15 minutes of your show last time. Like he's got 20 minutes to go, and the response came back, "Yeah, he is mad at you for telling you there were only 20 minutes
There
to
were
go."
7 puzzles that were left and like multiple rooms to clear. There's a solid 7 puzzles and maybe 20 rooms. Like there was a whole session left. Anyway,
I think what happened is that you were at the computer looking at the medical records. When I did that, I was 20 minutes from the end, but you might have done it out of a slightly different order.
perhaps. There's a couple of
Also,
moments where you can zig or zag.
also, we're dealing with Woolly time
Sure,
versus Pet
sure,
time.
sure. But I mean, when it comes to that, I guess all I can say is if you look at Woolly Time, I'm not standing still.
Yeah, I should
I'm,
have.
you know,
I mean, sometimes you
sometimes I
actually
stand still
literally
and
are.
talk.
Actually, that
Yes.
was a bad thing for
No.
you to say.
No. Sometimes I absolutely stand still and talk. This is true. All right. You know what? Never mind that point. But but a lot of the time I'm doing a thing. It's just I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna read the note. I'm gonna go. Oh, what was that again? To see if I can.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right.
So Sonic. So Sonic has a lot of eras, right? There's the Genesis era, then the Saturn had nothing. Like the Saturn had 3D Sonic Blast. But then you went to the Dreamcast era where you started the reality of 3D Sonic. And then you had I don't know what to call it, like postmodern Sonic, which is like unleashed onwards. And then we have Sonic Frontier, which is part of a new gen of Sonic, the open world Sonic, where Sonic controls significantly differently. Oh, Boost era, Advance. Okay, I'm not super familiar with all of these. What I will say is that I was a child when I played those old Genesis games, and as such, I adore them and love them, and they are the best games, and I will fight you. However,
I gotta get up. I'm gonna
move,
keep listening though.
moving, yeah, that's fine. Moving past that particular emotional attachment, yeah, no, the Sonic 1, 2, and 3 and Knuckles, they have problems. They're not perfect. They have issues. The music is pretty good, but like sometimes it boosts you too fast, and there's stuff that you can miss, and some of the bosses aren't that great. One is trash. One is a bad game. It's wild that it created a franchise. One is bad. And then but I went back to them decades later, and I felt like I tried to approach them objectively, and I felt like, yeah, these are pretty good. And then I played Sonic Mania, which is widely regarded as a good 2D game. And Sonic Mania is very similar, but also very good. So I feel fairly confident that those games are good. Um, I will I will fight anyone on the street to the death who tells me that Sonic Adventure 1 is anything but a pile of fucking garbage. And I really strongly, genuinely feel like those people are insane and forget that 60% of the levels in Sonic 1 are complete garbage. They remember playing as Sonic. They remember Open Up Your Heart. Maybe they remember playing as Tails. They don't remember playing as Knuckles. They don't remember playing as E102. They don't remember playing as Amy. They don't remember playing as Big the Cat, etc. Um, and so
I
on to Sonic Adventure 2. But hold on, hold on. This
Yeah,
is
go
going
go
somewhere.
go 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 go
Where
go.
I think Sonic Adventure, and by comparison Sonic Adventure 2, which I have not only played for about an hour, but it's a very direct sequel. I think those games are complete fucking garbage, and that if you like them, that's because you were a stupid baby when you played them and you have the mind of a child. We can now move on to more modern Sonic games. I don't like Unleashed. I don't like '06. I fucked around with colors, and I'm like, I don't care for any of these games. I think these are all not good. I don't like the way 2D Sonic controls in Sonic Generations, etc. Moving off of that, starting up Sonic Frontiers is pretty positive. Sonic in the open world and during his boost, like, you know, racing sections, feels well. Like, the controls are really good, and it has a really bizarre amount of granularity on what you can do to those controls. Like, you can choose like starting velocity and acceleration on Sonic's like average 3D movement. It's really it's a lot. It's a lot of granularity. The open world is actually tons of fun to move around because Sonic's crazy fast and maneuverable. The levels are siphoned off into their completely separate little cyber world sections that have no cohesion with anything else. It's just an excuse of like, hey, you want to fucking do a Sonic level on Angel Island or Metropolis Zone or the fuck it, right? Do it. Like, I don't care. It's the cyberspace, right? It's fun. And S ranking and getting all the rings, or, you know, getting all the red rings in those stages is actually a lot of fun. It has combat, and it's combat. It's not like,
I saw the trailers for that. Yeah.
it's
Got a move list.
Like, it's got a move list.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic is like insanely, laughably overpowered for the game that he's in. Like, you can just do infinite Rapukin kicks from the sky and just hold down the button and just ice everything. It has a parry that it requires no timing.
Mm-hmm.
You just hold the parry, and when something hits you, you just parry it. But these are things to make the when you're fighting stuff more interesting and more fun, and it's good. It feels like there's occasional like roaming bosses to deal with in the overworld. It's pretty interesting, and it is jank. I had a lot of fun playing it. I don't think it's the best game in the world. I think it's significantly jank. But there's like, hey, you're doing an open world boss fight with Sonic speed and you're running up the side of the boss. Sometimes the camera angle can't quite keep up. But there's only one big problem that the game has, and they've said that they're working on it, and I would very much like to see it fixed because it is a constant downer.
Is it what we read about last week?
What's that?
Getting shot out of world. Like,
no.
Because the trajectory goes off?
That's not the issue. The issue is popping. The draw distance on so in the open world you have tons of Sonic loop-de-loops and rails and jump pads and, you know, all those zany shit that you would do to do Sonic platforming. You can only see them maybe 100 feet away. So you'll get into situations where you can stand there and like look up and be like, there's a platform, and there's nothing within a mile that leads to that platform, because it's there. It's like 101 feet away, but you can't see it because it won't pop in. So you move over, and then the rail that leads to the platform you're looking at. But then as you follow the rail to where you have to start it and turn around, you no longer can see the platform that you're trying to get.
You're originally at.
It's popped out. And it's a problem. It's like a serious, actual problem all the time.
This is what happens when you populate the Unreal Engine world with things that require draw distance to take assets into account. But it sounds like then, in the end, hiring this man was a good idea.
Yeah, it's fun.
It worked.
It's a good game. I would call it a fun, enjoyable 7 out of 10. And if you really like Sonic and you like that speedrunning element of his missions, I would put it higher. If you really like Sonic, like the character, and you've like read some of those comics, I would rate it a lot higher, because they're going with fucking deep cuts.
if you're
deep cuts.
it sounds like anyone who's a Sonic fan is like rejoicing.
Absolutely.
And it also seems as if like the initial vibe of big empty world with 3D Sonic controls
It's actually fun, yeah.
is
It's
yeah,
fun.
well it's working out, and it doesn't feel as barren as much because moving around is fun to do, and therefore like you're enjoying your time with it as opposed to feeling like there's nothing to do.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Because that's
Yeah,
the
no, it's great.
perception, you know? Right on.
Everyone wants me to talk about Rails. I don't really feel like it, but okay.
I will say that I was someone who had fond memories of adventure, and the LP we did back on the old channel did a
Yeah.
lot to update my views from what I remembered.
Yeah, you consider your views updated?
My views were updated.
Yeah.
I had there was a foggy positive memory for a lot of things, and there was a lot of bad that I kind of just conveniently forgot about.
I will say, get ready for this. Now that I played Sonic Frontiers does the impossible by making you thrilled, thrilled to see and hang out with Big the Cat.
Okay.
So
His last outing was Sonic Dream Collection,
that's true.
lest we
Yeah.
forget.
So in Frontiers, one of the little collectibles you can get is purple coins, and you can then find that Big the Cat has been nonsensically dragged into the cyber dimension in his own fishing dimension, and you can pay him a purple coin in order to borrow his fishing rod and play what is essentially another version of Sega Bass Fishing,
Nice.
the fishing mini game that Sega is mandated to put into every game it can get a hold of.
Of course.
And is a fairly easy, little fishing game that's pleasant and nice. And as you fish, you get tickets that you then cash in to just buy whatever collectibles you want. Like if you're like, oh, I need more of the hearts to unlock the next story mission, and you don't want to scrounge the map for, whatever, yeah, go hang out with Big and get more than enough in like 2 fish
Oh,
in
okay.
order to skip that part. Do you want to have do you want to unlock audio logs from Robotnik associated with this game? Yeah, go buy those. Do you want to instead of trying to find the attack upgrade pieces? Yeah, no, just hang out with fucking Big and just fucking fish and just get the fucking attack upgrade pieces.
So I have a very stupid but I think important question.
Hmm.
Which Sonic is this?
I think it's like Ian Flynn comic Sonic.
It is not Adventure Sonic or any of
No.
the other. It is comic Sonic brought into this game.
Well, I think what they've tried to do is that every single fucking Sonic is canon, and we're just gonna fucking move forward that it all happened.
Sure, and
Because,
I know
like-
Generations kind of like already touches on that, but like the one you're running around as in the game is a Sonic that up until this point has not been playable, which is the comic Sonic.
It's still Sonic Adventure Sonic. It's just Sonic Adventure and the comics all happened. All of Sonic is canon, and if that doesn't quite work, just shut up.
I thought that IDW comic Sonic was his own Sonic.
Well, I mean, they fucking reference goddamn fucking Central Island or whatever the fuck it was in Sonic Adventure within like the first hour of the game.
Okay.
And then he starts talking about characters from the comics.
Did Sonic Boom happen?
I don't fucking know, dude.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right.
Well, whatever. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. Do you remember that time Sonic the Hedgehog did that thing? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and then 2 movies came out.
Yeah.
It got a little complicated. They're hiring a lore master to figure this shit out. So I'm asking the question because,
I'm the wrong person to ask. But regardless, even as somebody who is diehard 3D Sonic is trash by default, kind of person, yeah, Sonic Frontiers is a pretty enjoyable game. I liked it.
So, yeah, I mean, did you, how much did you play, I guess?
I played it for about 5 hours. I beat the first island. There's 5 islands, so I did about 20%.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. Good game.
Does it feel so? Yeah, I guess that's kind of the sentiment, and of course the more of a fan you are, the stronger that's going to be.
Yeah.
Now I know, for example, like, you know, for you 2D Sonic, you're to the level of like, you play Sonic 4, you press one jump button, you go nope,
Yeah, well,
I'm
I
out.
mean, so yeah, a lot of people are like that because that game is bad.
Right.
It's fucking terrible.
For 3D Sonics, is this that kind of like, is it like an overhaul in a way that no other game moved? It felt like,
So I wouldn't be able to tell
because
you because
Mania is like
my experience with
yeah.
3D Sonic is very limited. My usual experience with 3D Sonic is I pick it up and play it for about 5 minutes and I go, "This is bullshit," and then fucking walk away. I did not do that for this one, therefore it is better.
Okay. Okay.